Welcome back, everybody. We're in the greenhouse this week. It's quite cold in here, actually. It's about 5 degrees in the greenhouse. It's been really chilly outside with the wind chills gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour. It made it feel like minus 21, and it was like that for like 2 days, so some things did get frozen. But today, last week we were looking at my solar air heater and how I sort of heat my greenhouse. And today we're going to be continuing with that, and I'll still take you around and show you a few other things that I'm doing. But I also want to get ready for the summer season, so I need to get some fans hooked up to help cool it in here, because if without a fan or something to push the air to keep moving through, it'll get up to 50 degrees in here, and I almost guarantee pretty much any plant I have in here is going to roast. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to get a fan hooked up over here. We're going to see how well it works up on against our 3,000 watt eliminator inverter, and it runs off of two 12 volt batteries. These are marine cycle batteries and a 100 watt solar panel from Canadian Tire, basically just a NOMA. So it does pretty good for charging up these batteries even in low light like this, but we're going to do some tests and try and find out how long can I run that fan for. Especially during the day is no problem, and at night I don't really have to run the fan at night because it usually cools off at nighttime and there's no sun baking down on anything. So if the fan's running slower, that's okay too, even if it shuts off. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. And then I also have some lights that I want to run an extension cord from here to the other side to help heat the bottles on the north side of my wall using those little water bottles. And if I can maintain them from getting frozen, then I'll still be able to absorb heat from those light bulbs. So we're gonna give them a try too. So just stay tuned, and then maybe you can see what I'm thinking instead of what I'm trying to tell you. So let's get at it. We're gonna get that fan up first thing. Just plug her in, see how's it going, see how long we can get it going now. All right, so when I started, this said 14.1 volts that it had in store before I turned on the fan. When I turned on the fan, it quickly went down to 12.2, and I'd show you a closer view of that, but this is solid. But when I show it on my phone, it's blinking. So I don't know if my phone's just picking up something I can't quite see. It's not easy to see either. It's showing 8 watts, and it's showing 12.2 volts. So either way, in this cloudy, we have a nice cloudy day today, nice overcast. It's still holding up for that fan to be running on its low setting. So that's good if you can keep running that way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn that off, and we're gonna go over here to my other idea that I wanted to show you, and we're gonna see how well this works on top of that. So when it's really sunny out, this thing should be able to run pretty good, keeping that heat going. It puts out a lot of wind, so definitely going to suck in some of that air from the outside, the cooler air, and bring it on in here. So okay, so we have 2 incandescent bulbs here. I'm not really sure what this is exactly, but it does get really warm. So I can't say that it's like an LED or anything like that. So either way, it's giving off some heat. I moved these bulbs out just a little bit, these bottles, just so that it's not too close. I put a piece of metal, I have this extra shelves lying around. That'll help absorb some of that heat too as well, and keep this little area warm. And then hopefully it'll start to release some of that heat too. So the idea is that we'd be able to charge it up through the day, and if it's a sunny day, I won't even need these light bulbs. But at nighttime, I'm hoping that it'll help extend the amount of heat that's lost throughout the night. So that would really help if I can get through to the next morning and then start again. So we're gonna see about trying to see how many we can get together. Let's go take a look at the inverter and see what it's shaking off of it. Okay, so those 2 light bulbs, one is I believe a 100-watt bulb, but basically 100 watts each, so we'll say 200 watts. This is showing 60 watt drain, and it's showing 12.3 volts steady. So it's holding at 12.3. So that's good so far. Now let's go add another string, 2 more bulbs, and see what happens to the inverter. All right, we got all 4 hooked up right now. 1 bulb's not working. We do know that the bulbs put out a little bit of heat. We're running at 130 watts on the inverter, and it's steady at 12 volts. So we're gonna let that go. This is just an experiment to see how much heat we can actually get. I put some metal behind the lights there too, as well. And we're just gonna see how warm it keeps it. I may need a lot more than that. And if you have a smaller greenhouse, you could probably get away with those old Christmas lights that you used to get with the C9 light bulbs. They used to burn your fingers when you tried to touch them. So yeah, if you got like 2 strings of that, you'd probably do a smaller greenhouse, like a 10 by 10 or something like that. And you wouldn't have to really worry too much about heat, other than maybe put some kind of thermal mass in there. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about, was thermal mass. So other things other than using the black weed barrier and the bottles of water, these will all help warm the ground and release warmth throughout the night, right? So what I also want to do is add bricks around each individual project. So depending on if there's a tree here and a tree here and a tree here and a tree there, we're gonna lace that around it with a brick up a couple of layers, and then maybe possibly raise it up off the ground a little bit, allowing that to create its own thermal mass and keep in each individual project or plant warm at night. So that's the idea, is to keep it alive through the winter, whether it goes into dormancy or not, is to keep it alive so that it keeps the growth happening. So there's other things like painting the taupe black and keeping that and filling that up with water and keeping that in there, closing up some of the shops for the winter, and again, adding patio stones is also another thing. Using the solar air heater and a trench with a perforated pipe filled with possibly lava rock, gravel, something that will allow the air to come up and slowly warm that whole trench throughout the day, allowing the ground to get a little bit warm. And again, the more ground you warm, the more warmth you're gonna have throughout the night. So that's just a few projects. You can also put in a pond, which may happen in a million years from now. Again, everything in here, all the pots are black, so if they were full with dirt, they would actually get some warmth and some heat too as well. So again, a matter of spreading out some of your projects or your equipment or whatever could help with that too. So again, it's all about thermal mass. So we just want to get more bottles of water like this and spread them around. We want to get brick in here. We want to get even cinder block if we can do that. You can paint them black or just allow the sun to absorb it throughout naturally, and hopefully release that throughout the night. So that's the idea, and that's my goal and my plan. So if you like this video and you like my last couple videos, you want to stick around and be notified when I put out a new video, which I do every week, usually around Monday or Tuesday. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up down there, push that subscribe button, and tell everybody, tell all your friends and family. And then come back next week, because I definitely want to see you next week, and I'd like to hear your comments, and let's learn together, okay? See you next week.